wildlife, and antiquities. This consultation and coordination would enable implementation of mineral development for industrialization and protection of natural heritage. 5. The bill makes reference to the Mining Act 2003. The Mining Act 2003 was repealed by the Mining and Minerals Act 2022. The clause should therefore be amended. There is need to further scrutinize Schedule 2 of the bill to ensure that the proposed protected areas and sites do not affect the development plans of the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, and government as a whole are not derailed. Therefore, in line with Article 91, Sub-Article 3C of the Constitution 1995, I hereby return the bill to Parliament for reconsideration of the clauses listed above. I refer this bill to the Committee on Trade, Tourism and Industry, and you have to process it within 2 weeks' time. After saying that, I have a concern on the side of Cabinet. This is a schedule that came from Cabinet. The committee did not add any of these places. Cabinet is chaired by the President. The ministers who are raising these issues are ministers in Cabinet. This bill was tabled for authority purposes. I was still a government chief whip. I remember I was in Cabinet. I'm not supposed to reveal what happens in Cabinet, but I was in Cabinet. So now, if Cabinet, you bring your work, we approve, then you return it that we've done shabby work. What do you want us to do? You know, because this is making Parliament look shabby. So I request the Prime Minister that before bills are brought to Parliament, you do harmonization as government. Because now, you know, you could see this came from Ministry of Energy to say they did a bill that is going to derail our work. So I request you do serious harmonization. We were having the Attorney General here when we were passing this bill. Any of these definitions and all that, there was no single objection that was raised. But then after, and the President has made it very clear that he has been advised in his letter. So I request colleagues, please. And I request this shouldn't be a matter for debate, but a matter for noting on the side of Cabinet that Right Honorable Prime Minister, before bills come to the House, harmonize fully as ministers. If you have areas of disagreement, please ensure that you do that. Then we do work and we finish it once and for all. We don't come here to handle disagreements of ministers. So with that, please allow me to go to matters of national importance. Reaction? Okay. Let me start with the opposition chief whip.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Besides being the opposition chief whip, I'm holding the fort of my superior. Mr. Speaker, I would like to thank you for the timely intervention and effort in bringing into check this couch of impunity in the ministries and, so to speak, the executive. But what is disheartening, Mr. Speaker, sir, is having a hostel in the presence or in the vicinity of radioactive materials. That's very dangerous. And what is key here is about the health, because these are very harmful to the health and the lives of the occupants of that hostel. And as a matter of urgency, Mr. Speaker, because they even run the risk, these girls who stay there, of being sterile.
Luckily enough, it's not yet occupied. They are just completing it.
Oh,
yeah.
So my view, therefore, I hold it, Mr. Speaker, sir, is that seeking your indulgence, Mr. Speaker, that this House should prevail over the relevant line ministry to actually stop any further plans for resettlement in those places that are close to that radioactive, I mean, the nuclear bunker, which you have just made mention of, for the sake of the lives of our people. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you, my brother Arop. You see, some of the cases, we don't need to prevail. This is something very clear. And we have given them an opportunity to go and rectify it. I think it is very important for us indeed to follow upon the matter to ensure indeed. But whoever goes, this came, I don't know whether Dr. Muyingo wanted to say something about it, because I can see, no, it's a hostel for his institution.
Yes, thank you very much. Right Honorable Speaker and dear colleagues, our institutions in Mulago are working hand in hand with the management of Mulago Hospital. They have a board, a council that sat and allocated that land to our institution. But I've taken a note and I'm going to follow it up, Right Honorable Speaker, and make sure that the lives of our children are protected.
Proceed, Mr. Speaker.
I would encourage you to go and you meet the experts, okay? And you see what they will tell you about that issue and the dangers of sleeping next to a nuclear site. They're gonna then.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and I want to thank the Minister for the undertaking he has made before Parliament. But further to your guidance, I think it would be important for us to establish as a fact, one, who of the two institutions constructed first? Two, who authorized the plan? Because you see, you're telling government to incur the cost of relocating the hostel. But how did we get there? I remember in Park, we were looking at the Auditor General's report, and one of the issues that came up as to why there was delay in installing some of the machinery that had been procured by the Ministry of Health was the issue of land ownership between Mulago and the other allied health institutions. But in this particular case, before we incur the cost of removing or taking the hostel away as if we are going to carry it away, we must establish who occasioned this loss to government, because there must be somebody who approved the plan, knowing that in the vicinity there is something whose existence could not allow the existence of the next installation.
Thank you. Honorable colleagues, I request we close this matter. Okay? Since we have given on this, on this matter of the banker, okay, and the hostel. Honorable Song, I wanted to give.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank
Yeah.
you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank you for this opportunity. On the issue of nuclear, I wanted to say two things. One, Uganda signed and ratified the Convention on the Physical Protection of Nuclear Materials. And this was in 2003, and it came into force in 2004. This nuclear convention came in 1979, and there was an amendment which came to it. All countries that are a party to that convention of 1979 have already signed and ratified the amendment, but Uganda has not yet signed the amendment. And the amendment is purely focusing on the safety that nuclear can coexist. But for your information also, nuclear is one of the cleanest energy we can have. It doesn't cause any climate change, but